the third episode of this series, we are about to reveal how the Fate franchise has inspired the metaphysical concepts which are the bedrock of Elden Ring lore. The root in Fate is described as a primordial swirl or spiral, which is the origin of all which exists, and in particular, an infinite source of souls and magical energy. As such, the concept of root can be compared to that of the crucible in Elden Ring, as it is also symbolized by the spiral, and it represents the original source of life and holy magic. Also, the name of root can be associated with the root symbology, which seems to be associated with the crucible. In Fate, the Holy Grail refers to the mythical Holy Golden Chalice sought by King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The Elden Ring is also a holy golden artifact, and it is sought by the Tarnished in a similar fashion, to the point that the central hub where they gather, the Round Table Hold, is a clear reference to the Arthurian Round Table. In Fate Universe, a Holy Grail War is the event in which 7 masters, with their respective servants, fight each other to the death in order to gain access to the Holy Grail. In Elden Ring, we have a similar event in the War of the Shattering, where 7 great runes owners fight to gain the Elden Ring, which, as we said, is a reference to the Holy Grail. In Fate, the servants not only compete to grant the Holy Grail to their masters, but as they get slain, their souls become the fuel powering the very magic of the Grail, so that the last master and servant standing can grasp such power for themselves. This allows us to understand the meaning behind the words of Marika when she says that by failing to become a god or Elden Lord, which means failing to claim the Elden Ring, the contenders would be forsaken and indeed used as sacrifices. In his last words, Morgoth, using Marika's words, admit that he and his kin have been indeed forsaken, while the finger reader Enya reveals that the kin of the Tarnished was selected as a new champion to claim the Elden Ring. The War of the Shattering is indeed at a stalemate, and the role of the Tarnished as a new participant is that of killing the rune bearers to finally allow the Elden Ring to absorb them as sacrifice. Another striking similarity between the Holy Grail and the Elden Ring is the fact that they are designed to be placed inside a host, which in both cases is an homunculus and female. In Fate, a participant of the Holy Grail War can be recognized by a magical brand, which symbol represents the essence of its bearer. This reminds the way in which all participants to the Shattering possess a great rune, which also mirrors their inner essence. In Fate Zero, extra common spell appear on the end of one of the participants in the middle of the war, which is similar to what happens to our player character in Elden Ring, with the grace making contact through the hand. In Fate, the Holy Grail, in its form of golden chalice, is actually called Lesser Grail, to distinguish it from what is called the Greater Grail. Once the Lesser Grail collects the souls of the defeated servants, these are used to activate the Greater Grail, an organic structure holding a disc-shaped portal, granting access to the root. In Elden Ring, we can recognize the Greater Grail in the Gate of Divinity. Both these massive structures, indeed, are made of fleshy organic matter, dominated by a reddish hue. As the Greater Grail resembles a hand holding a circular portal, the Gate of Divinity resembles 2 hands potentially performing a similar action. As the Greater Grail is a portal to the root, the Gate of Divinity is also a portal, as we can see the change of environment through the pillars of the gate. we just discussed how in Fate, the servants' souls are used to feed the Lesser Grail, which activates the Greater Grail and allows access to the root. Considering that we have recognized the Lesser Grail to be the Elden Ring, the Greater Grail to be the Gate of Divinity, and the root to be the Crucible, we can finally understand the DLC cinematic, as Marika uses the Elden Ring, taken from a sacrifice, to activate the Gate of Divinity and gain access to the Crucible. In Fate, it is theorized that someone accessing the root could be transformed into a god, and considering the name Gate of Divinity, this is likely the moment in which Marika became one. The idea about the Gate of Divinity as access to the Crucible is also supported by this theory by R.J. Palmer on X, which happens to exactly match the aesthetic of the portal to the root in Fate. In Fate, the Aidsburns are a family of artificial female homunculi created in the attempt to achieve an ancient spell of soul manipulation. Eventually, the Aidsburn realized that the only way to perform such a magic was to gain direct access to the root, and thus they created the Holy Grail Wars. First, the family leader, Justice, fused herself with the core of the Greater Grail, and several years later, a clone of Justice, called Irisville, became the vessel for the Lesser Grail, so that the family gained control over the two core elements defining the Holy Grail Wars. While this was the setting for the Fourth Holy Grail War, the vessel of the Holy Grail changes in each war, with the vessel of the Fifth Holy Grail War being Irisville's daughter Ilia. By analyzing the characters of Irisville, her child Ilia, and her ancestor Justice, we will be able to connect them respectively with Marika, her child Miquella, and their nameless ancestor. To get started, the Ainsburn homunculi are the inspiration for the shamans, as both groups are exclusively represented by long white-haired female clones, are used in the attempt to create a mythical powerful magician or saint, and are generally discarded in underground areas after failing. Among the Ainsburn's family clones, Irisville was the one who achieved to become a vessel for the Holy Grail. Similarly, among Onsen's made shamans jars, Marika is the one who managed to become a saint, and therefore the vessel for the Elden Ring. Furthermore, as in Fate Irisville naturally passes the ability to host the Holy Grail to Ilia, in Elden Ring, Marika naturally passes the ability to carry the Elden Ring to her children who become Empyreans. The similarities between Irisville and Marika, indeed, also involve their children, in particular Ilia and Miquella, with also some unexpected connections connecting Ilia to Marika and Irisville to Miquella. We start by noticing that both children share the initial letter of their name with that of their respective mother. Both Ilia and Miquella are stuck in an eternal or prolonged childhood. Both Ilia and Miquella get kidnapped by characters dressed as priests who want to exploit their nature, respectively as vessel or potential vessel. Both Ilia and Miquella use their unique powers to collect the soul of their dying half-brothers and place it within another body. As vessel of the Holy Grail, Ilia has also been an inspiration for the iconic crucifixion of Marika, as they are both crucified on a reverse arch, with the animated scenes matching even in the camera movement. Also, while Ilia's servant is Heracles, Marika's champion, king consort Godfrey, is a clear reference to the very same mythological hero. The connection between Irigiel and Michela, instead, is based on their position while resting on their consort, which I thought would have been interesting to mention. After having established the most explicit similarities between the holy vessels and their children, we will now focus on their respective ancestors, Justice and Marika's grandmother. The two share their role as mysterious figures belonging to a long-gone era, and share the very same pose, with the arms stretched open and turned upwards. Justice represented the model on which the Ainsburn clones are shaped, and we could speculate how also the grandmother served as a model for the shamans, as they all seem to resemble her appearance, beside being all female. When Justice sacrificed her body to fuse her soul with the Greater Grail, the ritual ground lights up with her shape surrounded by sprouting branches. The similarities of this crest with the grandmother is particularly striking and seems to suggest how the grandmother could possibly have performed the same ritual to transfer her soul in the tree where we find her. This would somehow put the grandmother tree on the same level of the Gate of Divinity as a potential Greater Grail, and it is likely that Marika and Michela used the seeds of this special tree for the creation of the Earth Tree and Halic Tree. Marika, indeed, created the first prototype for the Earth Tree near to this tree, while Michela's Halic Tree presents female humanoid features at its roots, suggesting the presence of the grandmother soul within it, similarly to the trees in Enir Elin. The implication of the Earth Tree being equivalent to a Greater Grail would signify that the Earth Tree can use the Elden Ring to access the Crucible and the Fabric of Reality, which is probably what happens when we charge the Elden Ring with the great souls of the Rune Bearers, and, according to the current form of the Elden Ring, the world changes its form. This is the end of the third episode of the series, and the next one will be published tomorrow at the same time. Please consider backing my book, The Soulsborne Thesis, on Kickstarter, link in the description. Thank you for watching and see you soon.